Good morning, students. Welcome once again to our history class. Today we shall begin with a new chapter of history, chapter 6, beginning of freedom movement. Before we begin with a new lesson, it is important to look at the chain of events that laid the foundation of the freedom movement. You know, children, the uprising of 1857 united the Indians against the British. It had also made Indians realize that it was time for them to uproot the social evils such as untouchability, casteism, inequality, social backwardness from the Indian society in order to remain strong and united in the fight against the British. Thus, there was an era of reforms in the modern Indian history, which is also popularly known as the age of the Indian Renaissance. Various social and religious reforms took place at that time, which led the path for the freedom movement. Let us take a brief look at these reforms through a video.
Beginning of India's freedom struggle. The revolt of 1857 brought an end to the rule of the East India Company in India. Soon after, the country came under the direct rule of the British government. Lord Canning was appointed the Viceroy to carry out the administrative duties on behalf of the Crown. The 1857 revolt was entirely crushed by the British. The British government took over the administration of India. This was a huge blow to the Indians, and they realized the need to unite in their fight for freedom. Movement of social reforms.
The British introduced Western education in India. Indian society was ridden with social evils like caste and gender discrimination, female infanticide, sati and child marriage. With Western education came increased awareness and a progressive attitude in the Indians. Raja Ram Mohan Roy worked towards eradicating unfair and unjust social customs like sati and child marriage. He fought for women's rights to inherit and hold property. It was due to his efforts that the British government enacted a law in 1829 abolishing sati. Swami Dayanand Saraswati was a social thinker who opposed customs like caste discrimination, child marriage, and idol worship, as well as blind faith and superstitions. He founded the Arya Samaj, meaning a noble society, in 1875 to spread awareness about the need to destroy social evils in order to create a noble society. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a social reformer and academician who worked relentlessly for the empowerment of women. Vidyasagar also proposed the Widow Remarriage Act 15th, 1856, which gave women another chance to live their life with dignity. He also encouraged women's education. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan worked hard for the progress and upliftment of the Muslim community. He convinced them that Western education was important for the progress of the Muslim community. He founded the Aligarh Muslim University and insisted on education for women as well.
Children, I hope you all must have enjoyed the video. Let us now proceed with our lesson. There were many reforms that took place in the 19th century which sowed the seeds of nationalism in India. Can you guess what is nationalism? Yes, Nationalism is a feeling of love and respect for the nation. There was a new consciousness and awareness, a new sense of being an Indian among the Indians. There were many factors which led to the growth of nationalism in India. Let us look at these factors. Let us look at the first factor, children. Centralization of administration under the British rule. The British established a centralized administration in India and applied their policies uniformly all over the country. Moreover, the development of railways, roads, and other facilities of communication brought the Indians into more contact with one another. This instilled a national feeling among them. Let us now learn why there was discontent among the people of India against the British. India's wealth was being drained to England in many ways. The farmers were forced to produce cash crops and were crushed by the burden of land revenue and constant famines. Even the artisans lost their livelihood because of the competition with the British goods. The working class was also exploited by the capitalist. Common people were also unhappy with the heavy taxation imposed on them. All this led to the deep discontent in the minds of all. Children, do you know what impact Western education must have had on Indians? Yes, Western education exposed Indians to new ideas and principles such as justice, liberty, equality, democracy, etc. They also learned about the freedom struggle carried in other nations such as the French Revolution, American War of Independence, and also about the Italian and Irish nationalists. The Western education lent a modern outlook along with scientific attitude to the national sentiments of the Indians. Let us now study about ancient Indian history. The Asiatic Society was established in Bengal by the British. Many Indians and Western scholars started studying about our Indian culture. The Indian scholars like Dr. Baudaji Lad and Dr. R.G. Bhandarkar made intensive study of the ancient Indian culture. These researches found the ancient Indian culture rich and unique, which developed a sense of respect and aroused a feeling of national pride among the Indians. Let us now study about the role of the press. The press, that is the newspapers and various books written, spread modern ideas and criticized the British. Newspapers encouraged people to unite and work for the nation. Periodicals in regional languages reflected the problems of the Indians. Newspapers such as Darpan, Prabhakar, Kesari, Maratha, etc. rendered a valuable service in bringing about political awakening in India. That's all for today, children. Now read the textbook page number 25 and complete the notes given in the PDF file neatly in your notebook. Thank you.